Welcome back to the Vihelium Group. My name is Tim. I'm going to be working with you today, setting up an outdoor enclosure, kind of giving you my version of how to take and put these units outside. I'm going to be taking components that you can get off of Amazon, readily available for the most part, and we're going to be setting up the Panther X2. This is the SX1302 chipset, and we're going to be mounting this inside. We're going to be using some other things. I always use a smart plug. This is a Govee smart plug. Just happened to buy these and I tend to like them now. But this allows us to remotely power cycle the miner anywhere where we're at. Of course, if there's a new dashboard that's coming out or a new app for the Panther X, then you'll be able to probably be able to remote it from that. Our cooling fan is this actually a little tiny fan. They're actually designed so that if you have electronic components, you can set it on top and it just draws the heat off of it. There are bigger versions of these, but we use this one. I'll explain why in just a little bit. So without further ado, let me go ahead and kind of get you down here and show you what we're looking at. The reason I like this particular box, is because it has this back plate. And you can see that I've already set it up for the mounting screws. The way that this one's going to work is I'm going to take and make some holes back here on the other side of the miner. And then when the miner gets mounted on there, you can see these holes here. It'll draw air across. These boxes typically when we mount them, we'll mount them like this up on the side of a underhang so it gets some shade. But like I said, you can see that I've already done this one. I had to set it up so that when the miner was in it, it will cover the screw hole. So I actually went through and I preset it up. I took my edge and I put it up at the top up here, and I found out what line I want, and then I did the same thing on the bottom. Found the hole, I came over, drew my X, set a couple of holes. So let's go ahead and see if this screws in here really the way it's supposed to. Now, for the sake of TV and time, there you go. So now the miner's in there. I can put the bottom screw in. Okay, so now I have it set where I want it. You can see the antenna cord. I'll actually drill a hole right here so that the antenna cord has just enough space for the cord to go in. The miner, I'm actually trying to determine whether I want to put this miner so that I drill a hole just big enough for the prongs to stick out, and then take and put the extension cord so that it's just sticking out like that. And the advantage to doing that is, if you can see, it's kind of almost set directly underneath that. Now, the one thing about this is this particular fan, there's two options for this fan. One is to drill a hole and set it right in here like that. And then it'll just exhaust the air that it pulls in from behind the miner. It'll just exhaust it down. I don't need to put a vent or anything. What I like to do, but I can't find them in stock anywhere, is Buds, a poly manufacturer, creates a vent, an air vent, that has a down port. And what you do is you cut a hole, and then you take and put it in, and there's a threaded piece that goes in, and these little fans wedge right into the hole just perfectly. And then that way when you close this, it's nice and clean. The one dilemma that I would have with this setup would be to make sure that I don't block the USB port, because these fans are powered by USB. So beyond that, if I have to do something different, let's say just put the fan in here and I put the extension cord up inside, I have no issue with the extension cord coming up and just sitting up here like this, Power cord goes in over here. So let's assume that the power cord comes through a hole. I usually put mesh on the hole to keep bugs or whatever, bigger bugs, from coming through. Imagine that this is in here. There's your smart plug capability right there. Allows you to power cycle it remotely. And there is your outdoor enclosure. Hopefully that's helpful to you. If you have questions, I do have bigger boxes. I do have different setups that I do for other miners, but in this particular case, this is a nice little setup. When I get it done, I'll actually come back and let you know how it looks. Okay, so I'm back. I've actually done the leg work. I don't know about you, but I'm not a person that likes to hang on forever watching the YouTube videos. So I've done some of the pre-work for you. I use a couple of different drill bits that are pretty nice. They're the multi-tool drill bit, really big one for the big holes. So I went through and I actually drilled the smaller hole for the antenna. And then I went back and I drilled the hole for the vent. Okay. Then I drilled this hole for the smart plug and plug. So the way that this is all going to work, let me go ahead and set this back up here so you can see. The miner goes up and in, attached there. The smart plug can actually go like this. Okay. And then that is set up like that. Plug this in there. Whoops. Try this a little bit differently. How's that? And there. Smart plug goes in here. And this is for the exhaust fan, which can sit in there. And then it plugs in via USB into the miner. And that is your external enclosure. Now I do probably have the intention of, on the miner there is a, and the extension cord, I'll probably put a small screw up in there, just enough to hold it in place. Or I'll use a cable catch and screw it in back here. But there you go. That is how you would do it. Lock it up, put your lock in here, and you've got your box. Obviously, before you do all that, we're going to go backwards and disassemble this. Take all the components out. So one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to mount it up on the wall. You can use these two points right there and screw them in right up there so it's mounted, and then you can go back in and just do what I deconstructed, which was to get the miner in place. Make sure it's nice and wedged in there. Put your power cord in. Okay. Put your fan in. Connect everything up. Oh, I did forget to show one thing. The antenna cord does go in. Screws in. Voila. Okay. Smart plug. There. Fan. Set to go. I will let you know come summertime how the progress on keeping these things cool is. Thank you again for coming to the Vhelium group. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that bell notification. It does help. I don't know how yet because I'm too new to YouTube, but hopefully this is helpful to you. That's why I'm doing it, is just to help other people figure out how to get the most returns on their helium miners. Okay, so I wanted to actually do the work and then kind of show you what it looks like when we're ready to finally put it all together. So here you go. Tilt this down here, there. Okay, so I've drilled the holes for the cooling, so the air will pass across there, and we will put the miner in. Bring it down, lock it in. Okay, so the next thing, we had talked about the antenna cord. If you want to use a bigger antenna cord, obviously you're going to drill the hole bigger. But for this example, we're going to go here. Okay, this is our antenna. I actually spliced it to make this wing of the, or section of the cord shorter. It's going to get plugged into the USB port of the miner. And before I put that in, I'm going to put the power cord in. Make sure that's nice and snug there. Okay, so we got all those pieces there. Now, you can see I'm using these little cord attachers. That goes there. Oops, wait. Actually, that one goes there. The fan. It's right in there. Okay, so since the fan is going to be stationary, it really doesn't matter if that is loose or not. And then for this piece, putting it like this. And for demonstration purposes, we're going to take the extension cord, plug it in, and there you go. Nice and neat and tidy. Close the door, put those on, put a lock on, and in this case, like I said, I might take a small screw and stick it in here, but there you go. It is a cooled box, and we will find out come summertime how well this works. Again, thank you for coming to the channel and supporting us. And if you have questions, comment. You can also find me on the Discord channel for Panther at Loquacious, or go on there. You'll see me often early in the morning, later in the evening. So hope you have a great day, depending on where you're at. Great evening, good morning.